Welcome back everyone to another Xamarin 101 video. Today, I'm going to show you how to prepare your Xamarin.Forms shell application for real world work by clearing out all the stuff in the default template so you're ready to go. So tune in. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm James Montemagno. I'm a program manager lead over at Microsoft for the .NET community team, and I've been a long-time Xamarin developer for over a decade, or nearly a decade at this point, I would like to say, focusing on cross-platform mobile development with Xamarin. And we've been building out our Xamarin application. I've been walking through deep dive videos of getting started with Xamarin going into late 2020 into 2021. And I'm really excited to talk about Shell and all the amazing things that we can do. And we've been building out my Coffee application. We have a few videos that I'll put over there or down there, look in the description, of creating your first app, setting it up, upgrading NuGets, kind of doing everything you need to do. And now we're at the point where our application is ready to begin code. And the default templates for Shell have a lot of stuff in them. And I love Shell because it has URL navigation. It's easy to set up tabs and fly out and really gives you a lot of benefits to using Shell. And it's sort of the next generation of how you're going to build apps with Xamarin and Xamarin.Forms and going into .NET MAUI. But there's a lot of stuff in there. So we want to walk through what's in the templates, what we can delete, and then we're going to start building our application. So let's head over to the desktop. All right, I'm over here inside of my application. And as we can see, I have my Coffee app. Now this is the default template, which means that you have a lot of things in here. So you have models, services, view models, views. This is an MVVM type of architecture. We're going to talk about MVVM in a future video. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get up-to-dates of all the new episodes that I have here. Now we have stuff in my Coffee app, Android and iOS, and those are going to remain the same. There's really nothing in there that is pertinent to this application. Maybe I guess inside of resources, there's some images that we may update at some point. Same thing on iOS. If we go down here to resources, we may see some things that we can delete in the future. But for the most part, we can just sort of stay and live inside of this world. Now, if we run this application, we'll see why the Xamarin team has given us such a large template is because they want to sort of give us everything we need to understand the shell concepts. And in fact, there's a getting started page that walks you through using hot reload, more information with an aka.ms link, documentation, and sort of everything you need. So this default application, whether you select bottom navigation or flyout navigation, are going to give you a master detail sort of items, details view. And I think the team did that mostly because that's what a lot of applications are. And this is probably a good structure for your application where you might open up, you may have a flyout, you may have a list of items here, you may click on one, go to the next page, add one, come in and have some type of application here. Now our application is not going to be similar to this at all because we're building a Coffee application that'll have probably different tabs. We may use the flyout, we may use tabs, we may change that in the future. We are going to have a way of tracking our coffee consumption. We're going to have a way of browsing a list of coffee items, which is cool. But for our application here, we're going to just delete everything. That's what I'm really going to show you today is how I start applications is I like to come in, look at this template, browse how this thing is set up. How are the view models? How is the navigation working? And this is sort of a good reference to how I may start my application today. But I don't need all this stuff, right? My application doesn't have a login view. It doesn't have a new item view. So we're just going to delete everything inside these folders. So I'm going to delete all my view models. Let's go ahead and minimize this emulator here. We are going to go ahead and delete that. Okay. Here, our item, which is just a simple, item of ID text description. We're going to delete that. These are our models. So this might be our coffee, equipment, things like that in the future. All of our views for our about page, items page, we're going to delete all those. Delete them all here. Now, I think the data services are actually quite interesting. You may want to keep sort of the interface that it has here, but it has this idea of add, update, delete, and it's all generic, which is really cool. So this actually can stick around fully with our item inside of here. It allows us to kind of have a data store that is all set up for us. And it even has a mock data store here. And what's nice about this is that while it does have items, we could put in some sort of other item inside of here or just delete this mock data store. And this just shows us how to add, insert, delete items in here. So if you're interested in sort of an in-memory cache, that's not too bad. But for us, we're going to delete them, delete all the things, delete those here. Now, I like to keep the folders because this is exactly how I create my application in 2020 is I have models, view models, and views, MVVM inside of here. I like to then come and create like whatever our default page is going to be. So let's just say I say create new item, and here under Xamarin.Forms, we're going to create a content page. Now there are two types of content pages here. A content page with XAML is the first one. And then the next one is just C#. I use XAML as our markup language to create our UI. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And let's just, for now, we'll just call this coffee equipment page in general. So I like to just have one page that says something. So at least I can put it in my UI. Then what we're going to do is come and look at what's in our app and app XAML. Well, if I drop down, we can see there's code behind here, and our app XAML has some things in it. It's nothing special. There's a primary color for our application that's here, and then there's this style for our button. I'm just going to delete that so it's empty. That looks fine. Let's go to our code behind. Here we're going to delete this dependency service, our mock data store. We don't need that. That looks good. In our app shell, most of this stuff is going to stay. It gives us all of our tab bar and flyout styles that are in here. There is some styling specifically for the flyout items. We'll keep those for now. And then down here, we have a bunch of just information for our login screen, some templates. Let's just go ahead and delete all of this for now. And we'll leave one flyout item, which I'd just like to keep one in there. And it'll be the, let's say, equipment, the route, which we'll get to later for navigation. We'll go ahead and say equipment page. Then all we're going to do is change this over to a coffee equipment page. And that will go ahead and find it there for us. So perfect. So we have our about page. We have one flyout item, one shell content, and some visual states. So these are mostly important for how the flyout is set up. So here so far, just deleting some stuff, not too bad. Now the last thing we need to go is to the code behind for the app shell. Here we're going to be registering some routes, so we can delete that. We can also delete this on menu click. And now we're sort of in a blank type of page. We'll go ahead and just remove unnecessary usings up top. Let's double check our app XAML shell. Sure enough, we need to go ahead and remove those too. And hopefully we can compile our .NET Standard library, which would give us a clean blank template. And if so, then we are kind of ready to code. We still have our folder structure in place, but we have our blank shell application. And you may be saying, well, James, why did you not just create a blank application? And why did you create a shell application? Well, the blank application doesn't have any of the shell infrastructure or styling. So I figure it takes me 1 minute to delete everything. And let's just go with that. Because to me, it's easier to have that template in place, all the infrastructure in place, so I'm ready to go. And in fact, here we have our blank application. We should see that I have one page for equipment. If I come into my page here and I change the background color to orange, I guess this would be background color to orange, it's going to go ahead and should update for me on the page. There we go. So far we have our page set up. We're ready to go. We have our default equipment page that we're going to start building out. But our shell application is good to go. There's nothing in our models, nothing in our services. Our views will be created, and the rest of our application is all set. I could delete those other icons if I'm going to delete those, but if I'm not going to use them, but in the future, we're going to actually be using font icons, which I'll show you how to set up in a future video. Well, all right, that was a short video just to get us started building our application with Shell. I just sort of remove and get Shell to the default blank template so we're ready to go. Anyways, hopefully you've been enjoying the Xamarin 101 series. I've gotten a lot of good feedback in the comments of what type of things you want me to be building, what you want me to show. I do like these to be a little bit longer so I'm able to kind of describe in more detail what I'm doing, what I'm deleting, and what I'm updating. Of course, make sure you subscribe and ding that notification bell so you get updates of all the new Xamarin 101 videos or other videos I do here on my channel. And don't forget that I am building applications live on my Twitch account at twitch.tv/James Montemagno. And for anything me, you can go to montemagno.com or follow me on Twitter at James Montemagno. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, like I said earlier, and thanks for watching.